lot better than it tries to fix.
Yeah. And to this day, the Recoded still has the best deck system.
Yeah, this uses the deckman system, and thank God this is not the 3DS version. This is actually the PS4 version.
Heck yeah, HD.
So this has a little bit more improvement since I'm now using the controller and not the stub that the 3DS has. Oh god, I love the move here, but
There's a certain couple controls though that still absolutely suck on PS4.
yeah,
We'll
but
get to that
we'll
later.
go into those when it comes to gameplay because now it's time to begin the final 3 chapters, starting with Kingdom Hearts HD Dream Drop Distance.
Let's do it.
Had to do that every time.
Yep.
And starting off back in Radiant Garden. It.
Xehanort,
Ew.
you want to fill me in?
Well, hey, Braden.
Business, and yeah, this is the start of the
Hey,
original
Do you remember
organization
now, or-
members
Wait. Did you never lose your
from
memory?
when they became nobodies. And Vibrate.
It's not my name.
Farewell.
I'm not Xehanort.
So as a quick note, we're playing this game on Proud instead of Critical because Critical Birthday Sleep is alright. It has its problems, the chip damage, but it's alright. Proud in Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, that's fine. Proud in the Chain of Memories, that's fine.
Yo, even level 1 on Proud in 1 has like some large benefits to you that are really cool.
Proud on Days, not fun because of the crappy gameplay.
Riku, a storm's coming.
Critical mode
I know.
on Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix,
The waves are getting
best
stronger.
critical mode there is.
Furl the
No
sail.
argument. I'm sorry, people. Critical mode on Recoded. I
Riku!
don't remember the reason why I don't think it's that good. Do
I'm
you?
fine. What's that?
I remember you mentioned it was because there were already so many customization options for difficulty.
Yeah, that kind of takes things away. You could probably just play on critical and then customize things to be a little bit more in your benefit to make it hardly feel like critical.
Also, Olympus on critical is stupid.
Just a test?
Care to explain?
So, since Olympus is a turn-based system, there's no way to avoid damage. Well, if there is, there's no... It's crazy. Turn-based damage with you taking a crap ton extra damage, and
Oh wow, that's just yuck.
By the way, hi Ursula.
Yeah, she's back somehow, but yeah, before we get to explain the critical mode for this game, let's focus on Ursula here, because I can explain the choice bit. It works just not this time.
Hey, you avoided it.
This works just similar to the deck command system that you're familiar with. Only... You know what?
Oh, we spent so much time probably building this raft, and Ursula just comes by and just...
Yeah, and this is
Takes
the
it
first time
out.
we actually get to see this raft that they were building on at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. Well, the first time we get to use it. I mean,
Okay, what happened there?
hitboxes. You didn't dodge roll.
I was preparing to dodge roll.
Preparing to dodge roll doesn't give you any iframes.
But I actually hit the dodge roll button at the right time, though.
Rip,
Maybe just didn't register it yet.
perhaps.
But yeah, X triangle to use your deck commands. And
Quick block.
square to dodge, roll, and block. X
to
to
jump.
attack.
Oh wait, no. Circle to jump.
Circle to jump.
I'm playing too many other games.
Riku,
Nope.
Little help here.
Riku's gonna do the same
Riku?
thing he always does. Just stand still for like 10 seconds.
Thanks, Riku. I thought you were supposed to be the
Oh,
cool
man.
one of us.
He is the cool one, that's why he's just watching.
Yeah, but there we go. That's easy fight. I doubt you could lose, but
It's
yeah.
possible, but...
Critical mode on this one.
So, how about that half damage you deal on critical mode?
How about the fact that enemies deal 3 times the damage to you instead of the normal 2 times?
Yep, those two things combined. Along with a
And
certain
how about-
other thing that we will be explaining when the later enemies come in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, critical mode is not a fun time. I haven't played it myself. Because,
You're probably gonna have to get it for the trophy.
yeah. Bleach has played through it. He played through the entire thing.
I'm gonna be honest. I try to hold so much pride as myself as a gamer to not use some of the most broken stuff in Kingdom Hearts games.
Spoilers. He ended up using them.
I got to the point that I just, on some bosses, that I just decided to suck up my pride and just spam the broken stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I'm one of the probably few people in Birth by Sleep that does not have, except for the optional bosses, because they admit some of those suck. I'm looking at you, mysterious figure. And we're gonna do the flashbacks, of course.
Of course. Very, very important story stuff.
As a Keyblade master,
Don't skip a flashback this
Xehanort
time.
had a gift like few others.
What do you mean?
But such good times are often plagued by a single great question.
Yeah, most I know this well. I try not to spam, except for the optional bosses. I try not to spam the broken commands in Birth by Sleep. I'm one that likes to try and have diversity.
Yeah.
Even though that game is overall still best.
A map, the light and darkness that battle
I'll admit that. It's still one of my favorites, but I'll admit.
So
Yeah.
he renounced his duties as master.
We beat
and
Handsome
chose
Secret of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts 1 final mix, and we beat Zemnis, the leader of Organization 13, and Xehanort's Nobody.
However, this in turn allows Xehanort to come back. Because now the body and the heart have fused together again.
So yep,
Must be ready.
we have to be ready for his return, because no doubt he will continue his goal that he tried to do in Birth by Sleep,
Of a true
to forge the
Keyblade
Keyblade and start
No doubt
another
that's
Keyblade war.
yourselves masters already.
Hence we are to be tested, and
Great
a lot of
experience
fans
training.
thought, like,
Only a true
why do they need to
master
be
can
tested?
teach you
Both of them saved the
proper
world
way.
twice.
Both of you
They're
are self-taught
pretty much
Keyblade
already considered
wielders.
Keyblade masters.
An impressive feat.
Sorry to say, and
However,
we're gonna see it
time
with
has
how
come
Sora and
for you
Riku will
let
react
go
to the
of preconceived
situations.
notions. Forget what you know.
I'm gonna have to disagree on them being ready, honestly.
Your training
Heavily
ends
disagree.
with a clean
They have no official training, and
But that's a formality.
they've only learned what they've learned
Me and
through
the king and Riku,
self-training.
We can take on anything. Right, Riku?
They don't know the
Yeah.
ins and outs.
I
don't Riku- know. Riku is realizing that this Sora thinks like they've already proven themselves, but
Walking that path changed me.
thing is, like, Master Xehanort's is very clever, cunning, and powerful, so they need to be official masters
And hey,
to be ready to fight him.
Put me through
And
the
hey,
test. Just watch.
you can never
Riku
stop
will
improving,
pass with
so
flying colors.
why not continue improving?
Very well then. Sora and Riku.
And that's
let
what this
your
test is to help
examination
improve.
begin.
Yep. And these glossaries, unlike the other Kingdom Hearts games where we went through the reports, we're not going to read through these because by this point, if you've been following through the marathon from Birth by Sleep onward, you know the entire story up to this point. If you just started on this game, what are you doing?
You should probably go back and watch the others.
And if you're worried where to start, we'll just say start with Birth by Sleep or Kingdom Hearts the 1, whichever one you prefer. Watch the marathon from there on.
Chronological order or release order, they're both fine.
And I will assure you that I will release a playlist of them falling in chronological order right before Kingdom Hearts 3 comes onto this channel.
Nice. And here's dive mode. Care to explain it?
Yeah. Dive mode is pretty much of how we're going to get to the sleeping world. We dive down to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Collecting points, killing enemies, anything to get through there faster.
The faster you get there, the more points you get, the higher your grade at the end. The highest grade is an A. If you get that, you get a special command. Well, not a special command, but you get a command. You get a free item.
How that hit me? Okay, that one I was not paying attention to.
And if you complete all the dive modes as one character, then you will get a special thingamabobber.
You'll get a special keyblade.
Keyblade.
We'll just say that. Here as one character, yeah.
Yeah.
But the first character will always flashy finish.
You'll only receive the A rank bonus for the first character you clear it with, not including the keyblade at the end.
Yeah.
However, commands are shared, so it's fine.
We'll go more to the share commands later when we actually play as Riku, because we're gonna, even though that mechanic doesn't come in immediately, we're gonna explain it
when
we actually get to Riku's before it comes in.
Yeah.
Must be more of Master
You're close. Nice.
Yep. And a familiar world as well.
Back to Traverse Town.
I would say, God, it's been a while since we've been here, but we've been here in a data version in Recoded.
Just last game.
God, this world is used sparingly.
What happened to Riku?
It's real nice stuff.
Riku! Hello! Riku! Shut it.
Here he comes.
Talk about noise.
Oh boy, here we go. I'm sorry, I'm a fan of where this guy's from, and just so sure people know they're not trying to throw new character at you, that you're like, great, how many more characters am I going to have to know for this story to care about? This is Neku from The World Ends With You.
Neku's
Another Square Enix game, and one that really is good. I highly recommend to people to play it.
I do too.
I don't know about any
Like,
game, but can I help?
if you're thinking about getting Kingdom Hearts, I would recommend that. However,
Trust every total stranger you meet? Look,
The World Ends With You is literally one of the best DS games.
you're not a player. And my
Oh
past
yes.
is
So I would recommend that
so we can't be
even
partners.
more without
Why don't I just help you out as your
on
friend?
Heartbeat.
Now we're friends? It's not that easy.
And I love how opposite
Not saying
Sora
it
and
is,
Neku
but
are.
you
Sora's
could make it
openly
easy.
friendly, Neku
Yeah, sounds great.
kind of shuts people out.
Cool.
Mhm.
Lead the way. Whoa.
Zoom. See you later, Neku.
And I will also I'll go for this tutorial myself. Before we continue on. So yeah, flow motion as explained. We can press square
Yeah.
into objects like
Nice.
this and just fly around everywhere.
You never have to walk again.
Pretty much. This is honestly a little broken in more ways than one. If for those of you that were paying attention to the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers, hopefully not all of them, that you got kind of heavily spoiled on some things like what some of us did. And I know you're gonna probably mention one of the obvious trailers, dude, but admittedly, if you look back on some of the other ones, they kind of spoiled some things.
Yeah, they spoiled some small things, but
they spoiled some small things in the other ones as well that you realize later, like, oh my god, why did they spoil this? Now that I know what it is. Like, it was cool at first, like, we didn't know, and then when you realize the importance of that part in the game, you're like, why?
Yeah.
But yeah. If you want to also know where the world ends with you, you can also get it on Switch version, though not many people like it as much as the 3DS, as the DS version. I mean, not 3DS.
I will say though, the updated music and the updated graphics are really nice on the Switch.
Like, the only thing I heard is like that was bad with the Switch is like it's difficult to control both characters at once because you're only using one Joy-Con to control Neku. But it is possible to like use two Joy-Con controllers to control the other character, and that apparently, while harder to master, has the same effect as playing on the DS of controlling both characters at once.
I mean, on the DS, it's hard to master playing as both characters too, so it's sort of just hard to master playing as two characters in general.
That's one reason I know that people didn't like the game, but it's something that you can master, and once you do, by God, is it amazing.
Oh man, yeah.
Anyway, reality shift. Pressing triangle and circle on certain things, you can have certain effects within the world. For this one, it's lobbing things.
Wee. So here's one of the things that have crappy controls. To use this reality shift, you press triangle and circle. Now, you have to press them at the exact same time. Or else, if you press triangle first, you will use a command.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb.
If you press circle first, it's not too bad, because then you just...
Like, if you saw there, I actually pressed both at the same time, but it registered that I used Quick Blitz.
Yeah. And that command's just gone until it's reloaded. You have to wait for it, which is terrible in battle.
Hey, I didn't catch your name.
And now we get into something I don't like.
That's a weird name.
Them.
Right, I knew that.
Dream Eaters.
The main standard enemies of this game.
Don't let them surround
Well,
us.
more than standard
Let's split
enemies,
up.
but
Got it.
We'll get to
there's
that
some
in a
bad.
bit.
There's some bad in version Birth by Sleep,
Neku Sakuraba.
like the monkeys, the hourglasses, the flying bats that shoot projectiles at
That's a
you,
mouthful.
the
it's really
double
not.
shield guys.
Come on, Neku. Let's
The
take 'em.
big guys that blow up. That grow big when you hit them in the
guys that-
front.
Yeah. But they're not as bad as Dream Eaters. Like, even Heartless, there's very few Heartless that are bad.
There's the
There's-
Angel Stars and the Invisibles. Sometimes Neo
Okay.
Shadows can be pretty bad.
Yeah. But anyway, motion combat, Shock Dive is very powerful, but you can just do a whole load of attacks.
Do be careful though, because if you decide to use flow motion attack, you don't have invincibility frames,
Nope, you do not.
even though it looks like you should. So do be careful.
But yeah, even nobodies, there's very few of them.
Oh, nobody are so good.
There's very few
That's-
of them bad. Like, snipers can sometimes, except Dan's the only thing I would say that are very bad
Yeah.
enemies.
So really quick, this is something that's really important for getting through the game. The bigger enemies you can dash into, and that will initiate a flow motion attack. That will actually stun them, which is very important.
It pretty much is. But the Dream Eaters are just very bad enemies in general.
Yeah.
These things with you.
And now we're getting into the
Yeah.
other
If I
part
survive
I
the game, I'm
don't
gonna need some
like.
extra help. Think you could control them?
So this one This one's a friendly Dream Eater.
Sure.
It's called a Spirit,
I
in
guess.
contrast to the Nightmares.
What Jens is gonna explain to us right here about Dream Eaters.
If we are ever to strike down Xehanort, we need the individuals King Mickey spoke of in
Yeah,
his
but
letter.
we
We
must
must
rescue the
lead them out of sorrow
individuals
and
that
slumber and back to our world.
Mickey spoke of,
To
the
do
ones that
so,
are in need of our help,
7
which
sleeping
is,
keyholes must
of
be
course, the
found
3
and
heroes
unlocked
from Birth by
with the
Sleep.
great power of
Ventus,
the tree.
Aqua, and Terra.
As you
And we
know,
already know
every
where
world is walled off from the next,
all 3 of them are.
preventing
Well,
travel between
the characters only know where 2 of them are, but
In the past,
we as the players know
you
where
could
all
bridge
3 of
these
them are.
gaps because the walls were
The
broken,
characters know
because
roughly
you could open special
where
lanes with your
one of them
keys.
is.
Oh yeah, where
They've
Aqua
they've
is.
seen
The
they've seen the
sleeping
second one,
keyholes
but
are
they don't know
harder to reach.
who
You'll
it
recall
is.
in your first journey that you brought
And
many
the third
worlds
one,
back from
they
the
have no
past,
idea where he is actually.
but some never returned
Well,
completely. They
some of the
still
characters
sleep,
know
cut
roughly
off
where that
from
character
all
is.
outside channels. Not
Some
even
of
the
them have no
hardwares
idea.
can enter. But these sleeping worlds are said
Yeah,
to have their
we'll have
own
some of the
manner
worlds are
darkness.
still trapped in
They are
sleep, and we're
called
gonna have to
Dream Eaters.
unlock
And there are two
awake them from their
kinds.
sleep in order to get the power to
Nightmares,
save
which devour
these
happy
3.
dreams,
And yet,
and benevolent spirits.
nightmares and spirits. Nightmares are the enemies, spirits are your
The Dream
party
Eaters
members.
will guide
Mm-hmm.
you, just as the heart.
Which some of the spirits are adorable, mainly Meow Wow.
At the heart of
And
each
look at that thing!
It is. Meow wow.
And it's gonna make us have to create
Yep.
a spirit.
No way around it. You have to create a spirit.
Even if you transfer them in, which we're gonna get to that after we create this guy, and this is one of the big things I don't like. The enemies are like, okay, maybe sometimes they can be nitpicks of how I, because you can handle them in ways that can kill them fast, but there's enemies are still bad because I'll go more into the nightmare enemies when we actually fight more of them, which we will soon. But these things, oh, why? I do not like them as party members. You were waiting for that, weren't you?
Yes.
But yeah, do you want to explain why they're kind of not good as party members? And why the spirits are not good for what we're about to see now?
Well, for one, their AI suck. Especially if you have them at lower rank, but their AI kind of suck either way. So, their rank doesn't matter.
Giving credit where credit's due. For as bad as the AI was in 1 and 2 with the hardware they had to work with at the time,
It wasn't that bad considering. In those games.
It's not as good as Kingdom Hearts 3 is my point, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's dumb AI. It's dumb AI that you come to expect within like PS2 games.
Yeah, but Kingdom Hearts 3's AI is expected to be better.
That's true. But this game's just like, ugh. And you have to. This is how you get points to get your abilities.
You gotta pet them a bunch. The worst part, you have to pet them, then you have to wait for their animation to finish before you can pet them again.
Yeah, that's just no.
Later on, you do get training minigames to play with them, and that will give you a large amount of points. However, you have to do a lot. You have to do it a lot. You're gonna be spending a lot of time in this screen.
Yeah, when we actually get those for the first time, we'll likely cover them. Most likely gonna be you for that. And again, we'll explain that when the reason of why we're saying for him explaining it. we'll explain that soon. But yeah, this is how you do it. You spend your points on the spirit to get the abilities. Seems simple enough. Until you realize one thing about the spirits. And there's 3 categories. The blue ones are basically spirit-linked abilities, so you'll have them as long as that spirit is in your party.
If you remove the spirit from your party, you can no longer equip the ability.
The red and purple ones, on the other hand, are permanent abilities, so they will stay with you once you get them.
Even if you remove the spirit from your party, you can always turn them on and off.
This is something I don't like about the spirits, because I get the idea that one of the most broken things in Birth by Sleep was like having 5 attack hastes and magic haste, and there's no downside to have them. You can just grind the commands that have them till you've maxed out to keep them, and then just keep them equipped, and you got like super fast reloading. Along with reload boost, I believe can help accelerate that. But this is not the way to handle it. There was probably a better way to handle it, because the command melding was honestly better than petting with these things.
Yeah. Recoded was great though, with the whole the chip system.
Oh yeah, I like how you could still meld them, and I'm not sure how the level worked, but apparently I think it made some of them stronger.
It made them stronger. It was a slight difference, and it's a bit hard to tell, but it does make them stronger.
Yeah, one thing I will give Recoded credit for is at least it had in those magnet spells the way that they should have been handled, like in Kingdom Hearts 2. Deals little damage from the very small damage right at the start of pulling them in, then no damage unless they're knocked out and pulled back in.
Yeah.
Unlike in Birth by Sleep, but it's like deal continuous small damage and pull them in. I hope you heard that face palm.
Oh, I heard it.
Anyway, get out of here, the father one.
Farewell.
We transferred in all of the spirits that we have from the completed critical mode file. They've been reset to level 1 because that's what happens when you transfer the spirits.
They all reset to level 1 and lose all their... reset the commands bar.
It helps you on harder difficulties, but it also kind of doesn't help you.
It helps in the mid-run.
Yeah, but... should we actually... You know what, this time I think... Because they'll see the ones I'm gonna have, we're gonna put the ones that I know that you're gonna have.
Alright. There we go.
That's it. Anyway, the main thing I don't like about Dream Eaters is some of their attacks are very fast. They can combo juggle you.
And worst of all, they decide when they stagger.
Yeah. Birth by Sleep, all of the regular enemies, except for maybe some of the... Except for, I think, the monkeys, stagger at least fairly properly. There may be times where they say, I'm not going to stagger, but it's a lot more rare in Birth by Sleep than it is here, at least for the regular enemies. The bosses, yeah, it's another story.
And this also brings us to the final reason as to why this critical mode is the absolute worst.
They increase the time, the amount of chance that they can decide not to stagger.
They made it harder for enemies to stagger. Yep. And then one last thing, which is bosses something about the bosses later on.
Well, the other thing is, like, the spirit gem meters take 1.25% more damage than normal. And the bosses basically like to spam their desperation move earlier and a lot more.
Way more, from what I've seen.
It's not fun. Like, put it this way. Wait, imagine, let's put Zaldin, for example, for pretty much 2 since I know that's the one that gives people a lot of trouble. Let's use Zaldin as an example for this, that we're gonna say. Imagine that Zaldin did not stagger as easily as he normally does in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And he used his Where the Face of the Spirit Desperation move right around his first or second HP bar. And then he just started spamming it almost 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Every chance he could get.
Yeah, imagine Zaldin, except he uses he does nothing but uses dragon move.
That is kind of a summary of this game's critical mode with the bosses.
Oh man.
There have been too many times it drove me nuts.
And on to the 3rd district. I love the music in this Traverse Town.
Yep.
Whoop.
Can't connect to the network. Oh well.
I brought you
Oh well.
Sora.
Good thing we're not using the
We had
network.
a bargain.
What's the matter? Neku?
Yeah, they took out the network functionality that was in the original 3DS version.
Mm-hmm.
No way!
What?
13.
Hey,
That's impossible! There's no 14th or 15th number.
don't! Neku! They're too
I
dangerous!
vaguely recall someone.
What?
The end.
Why am I so sleepy?
Yep.
Good night, Sora.
Well, good night, Sora. And now we switch to Riku. So while we're doing this game, we can actually explain the other thing people do not like in this game.
The drops.
Because it's not... That's weird.
You're not. Those aren't hittable.
But anyway, you want to go over the drop system since while it's not going to be introduced yet.
Alright,
it'd be good
so
to...
when you're playing after the big tutorials, when you're playing with Sora and Riku, you have a drop gauge. This drop gauge lowers slowly during slowly during gameplay. Once that bar is empty, you will switch from Riku, Sora, and Sora to Riku, vice versa. Now, the problem people have with this is the biggest problem is during the boss. Say you're about to beat the first boss, and the game forcibly drops you. That's fine, you just play as Riku for a while, or you just drop back into Sora. However, when you return to the boss, you might notice a small change. The boss is back to full HP. This can be fixed with
Traverse Town?
drop me nuts, which are items
Clothes have changed.
that will reset your drop gauge.
Sora!
Using
Where
them
are you?
before or during the battle will help. However, if you get hit with the status effect, it increases the speed at which the drop gauge depletes.
This must be one of the sleeping worlds.
I also think that getting hit by attacks slightly it makes it you lose some drop, some of the drop gauge.
Yeah, I believe that.
It started.
The other thing you need to keep in mind is the drop me knots do take up one of your command slots, which early on is a bit problematic, but later on in the game, if you can manage your deck right, is not a huge problem.
Yeah. The only other problem that I have with the Drop Me Knots is to use the Drop Me Knot, you have to equip it to your command board, to your command slot. If you change your commands, you have to reload every single one of your commands. Meaning, even if you're just using it once and then taking it out, that means you have to completely reload all your commands twice.
Yeah.
The world is as many things as people need it
But
to
one
be.
other thing I will say
The concept
is
that we all live in the same world,
also, hey Joshua,
that's
forgot
just in our heads.
to say hello to you.
You know, Joshua's just being Joshua.
I'll tell you what, Riku.
Yeah, Joshua
I've got a
is
little errand
honestly
Sorry.
someone
I
that's
don't trust
yeah you probably shouldn't trust, but he's still
Aw,
cool.
at least hear me out. I'm looking for a girl named Ryan.
But yeah,
She's
the
the key to the portal.
one thing about
And on the other side,
I will say also the Drop Me Knots that is a problem I
maybe
have
even our
is
friend Sora.
you will not get
You know
any
Sora?
chance to buy some until after you
Now I have
beat
your attention.
the first boss as one of these as either Sora or Riku.
Unfortunately, I don't know where he is.
So if you wanted to grind a
He's not
bit
in this
before fighting the
version of
boss,
world.
you're gonna have to
I
do
can
it
only
and risk the
assume he has
drop.
to be in the other one.
Because
Simple
chances of getting you a Drop Me Not
Okay. You want
that's
to find
before
Ryan? You got it. Let's go.
beforehand via portals that we're gonna explain soon is
Aren't the greatest.
yeah, it's very slim to know that happening.
Traverse Town. Again.
And yeah, I'm using flow motion commands early on.
They're really powerful early on. Really, really powerful.
Yeah, it's because I really only personally like to use flow motion commands with. What the hell happened to that thing?
It just decided
You-
now.
no, you
I'm
said-
leaving. See
You
y'all later.
saw that. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
That was like that shouldn't have happened. Like, seriously,
Taking
what?
a vacation. Hey. Speaking of portals.
Yeah, this thing right here is a portal.
That. Roll
This is
spiky
a link portal, which we'll use this one. Link portals will give you your some party members.
Specifically
Or
the
li-
friendship portals.
Yeah. In the online function, you could have then had these guys be from other players. But because the online function moved, they don't do that anymore.
Nope. They just
That
have
just looks
static characters. Static dream eaters.
But other types of portals include battle portals, which will give you an objective with certain enemies to fight and complete that objective rewards. That's how you can get some Drop Me Nuts early by pure chance.
Be wary
Special-
though.
They won't go after you unless you're
Battle portals,
which is
they still
funny
take place in the
because
main
I've
game.
got plenty
So
of
if you lose in a battle portal, you still just die.
But they're definitely attacking me.
Yeah, and special portals on the other
You
hand
think I'm a dreamer?
are more give you even
Every
rarer
human
stuff, but you
being's
can
a dreamer.
only do them once, unlike the battle
I had a
portals.
friend once who
Uh,
said he never dreamed of anything.
and they contain
turned out
rare
that
versions of some of the
his were
Dream
most
Eaters, which
powerful
are
dreams of all.
a lot stronger
You sort of
enemies.
remind me of him.
Yep.
Why don't we give your dreams shape?
And after beating the
In this
game,
world,
there's
they
something
take
called
form as
secret
dream
portals,
which can
which
become great
are
assets.
set in certain worlds and are basically you get to refight the boss of that world again, only a lot harder.
A lot harder. Also, guess what? We get to make another
Right.
spirit.
Yeah.
Also force.
I wish they didn't let you make do the force if they realized it's a new game plus file. Would have been nice to just give you access to your Dream Eaters again.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things they could have changed for Weekend Plus, but yeah. So what'll we name this one?
Lowercase.
Lowercase. It's a quieter one. Man, there are really loud cars outside.
Yeah, the drop system not that good, but that's gonna be the thing we're gonna do here now. Now that you know, Boktaif's gonna be playing this game on Sora. I'm gonna be playing this game as Riku. We're gonna be switch off each part as that character.
Just can it, alright? Your inverse psychiatry
And
ain't gonna
this is
work.
gonna be a lot easier once we can buy the drop nut, so we can grind properly off screen and just play as one character throughout the entire world without ever dropping.
Yep. Also, we're actually gonna view this tutorial because
It actually fills your gauge so you can do this proper.
yeah.
Linking with spirits.
So linking with spirits is actually pretty cool. For Sora, they give you it's like a summon and a limit mixed together, where you use a very big attack alongside your spirits.
The one thing I will warn you is some spirits with whom you attack the sword have invincibility frames. Others, as I found out, do not.
Yikes.
So be very wary and learn which ones have the invincibility frames. And unfortunately, that's something I think makes this game a bit problematic, because that means the ones that don't give you invincibility frames are more likely you're not going to use links with.
Yeah. And I'll leave Riku's link.
The links for Riku, on the other hand, are very similar to the style changes from Birth by Sleep.
Oh yeah.
They make you more powerful, but yet it will feel as students attack an enemy. There's other ways to do it.
Now here's where it's really weird. Your link gauge fills up when you do cooperative things with your spirit.
I mean, it can still fill up without.
It can. However, that's technically the best way to fill it up. The only other good decent way to fill it up is to do more training toys. But yeah, considering how not great the AI here is for your spirits, it can be pretty hard to co-op with your spirits.
It's honestly sometimes better to just save the to save it when you actually have managed them to kill some enemies to boost it, and just wait for a boss to use it on.
I would agree. However, some spirits on their command board require you to link a certain amount of time with them.
Yeah, that's another thing you don't need to keep in mind. So it's very conflicting. But enough of that, because we've completed all the tutorials, which means we're going to see the final scene before we end off, and then you will be joining Boktai when he takes over as Sora.
By the way, Beat is great.
All the characters from the world end with you are great.
They're all great, but like Beat is great.
Yeah,
I know the feeling.
yeah. With Riku falling asleep and signaling the going back to Sora, we will see you all next time.
See you then.
Oh wait,
Flashback.
still have a flashback.
Don't skip it.
Long ago, in the age of fairy
Which
tales, the world
this is
was
retelling the
filled
tale
with light,
of
a gift many believed from an unseen power.
The Keyblade war that took place in
You see,
Union
Kingdom
Cross.
Hearts was protected by its counterpart, the Keyblade.
The first
so that
Keyblade
none
war.
could ever lay hands on its mysteries. But in time, the world was overrun by
Which I still
legions who
think
wanted
with
the
the
light
current
all for
updates they
themselves.
have, they might be getting
First shadows
closer to
cast
ending
upon
it,
the
but
land.
then again they might
These
not
warriors
because
crafted Keyblades
from what
in the
I
image
heard,
of the
dude,
original
apparently
Keyblade,
the next
waged
saga
a
in
great
Kingdom
war
Hearts is
over
supposed
Kingdom
to
Hearts.
involve
We call
more
this
secrets
the
within
Keyblade
Union
War.
Cross.
Yeah, I
Though the
highly
war
doubt Union
extinguished
Cross is
all
going to
light
be
from
over
the
soon.
world,
However,
darkness could not
I
reach
found out that
darkness
there's a.
inside every child's heart.
I'm pretty sure there's been a very
With that
recent
light,
update,
the
so I'm gonna
world
go
was
check that out soon.
remade as we know it today, with countless smaller worlds shining
Yeah, I
like
think
stars in
the only
the
time it's
sky.
gonna be over is when this
As
next
for the real
saga
Keyblade,
ends.
I can believe
it
that.
did not survive the battle. The two elements that created it,
But yeah, the
one
elements of light and
darkness
dark
one of light,
that
shattered
made the
into 20
Keyblade
pieces.
broke
7
into
of
20
light,
pieces.
13 of darkness.
7 of light.
And as
13
for
of
the
dark.
source of all light, the one true
And of course, the
Kingdom
true
Hearts,
Kingdom Hearts
it was
disappeared
swallowed
into the
by the
darkness.
Bye bye.
never to be seen again. As long as it remains there,
As we've seen just a
even the
door that
brightest
somehow
world will
represents
have its
Kingdom
dark
Hearts,
corners.
and then we've seen a
After
artificial
all,
Kingdom Hearts
light
from
begets
Kingdom Hearts 2
darkness.
Final Mix.
And darkness
Yeah, well, not anymore, it ain't.
For this reason, some decided to use the Keyblade,
Yeah,
a weapon
it's
designed
gone.
to conquer the light, to defend the light instead. These were the
Yeah,
first
with that,
heroes of
now
the
we have
Keyblade.
officially ended all the tutorials. So, we will see you within Boktai's side as Sora. Until then, later everyone.
See ya then.